me, she's worshiping God. She's not concerned about the guy who's not even paying attention to God who's next to her. She's worshiping God. Got her eyes closed, got her hand. I'm looking around the room. I'm thinking, wow, I really want to get out of here. Then I thought, you know what? I just had this instinctive, spontaneous impulse. And I closed my eyes just for a second. I thought, I closed my eyes. And the moment I closed my eyes, a voice said to me, an audible voice said to me, if you stay here, I'll help you. I opened my eyes. I looked around. I said, who's not praying? Who's talking to me? They're still out. They got their eyes closed. There's no one near me. But I heard the voice say, if you stay here. What happened? In that moment when I decided I'll take a chance, I'll surrender just for a second, I'll close my eyes. Are you real, God? He said, yeah. And he spoke to me. And I stayed. And he did help me. And the more I stayed, the more I wanted. And the more I tasted, the more I wanted. And the more I got, the more I wanted. And I began to develop a zeal for God. And not only did I close my eyes and throw my head back and throw my arms in the air, but I totally surrendered every single day of my life to him. And I said, I am in all the way. He said, good, it's about time. And then he began to do things in my life. Things that no one could imagine. Things that Barbara had been praying for, but just must have been mind-blowing as she saw it happening. Oh my gosh, my husband is actually saved. My husband isn't acting like a crazy person. Oh my gosh, my husband he stopped smoking drugs. My husband stopped drinking alcohol. He stopped using profanity. He stopped acting like thank you, God. Don't you think that every single thing that I did, every single thing that happened to me, she saw it and she was encouraged beyond belief. And she's an encourager of women to hang in there. Why? Because God did something for her, encouraged her through my life. Hang in there, those of you who are weary and faint of heart. Jesus said to me, all right now, go and sin no more. And I said, yes, sir, that is what I will do. Now, you know, I haven't been perfect. You hear it from time to time. There are things that I still do. But I have decided to follow Jesus. And I'm encouraged to tell you that while you're doing that, God will avail himself in heaven to everything that you need and desire. And he hears you and hears everything that you are asking. Look at the release from condemnation that Jesus spoke in that woman. That's what happened to me. I got released from all of that self-condemnation. Sin causes self-condemnation. We know what we're doing. We do. And I did it, and I hated myself for it. I felt horrible inside for doing it. I knew I was doing things that I shouldn't be doing. And then when I got freed from that, and by the way, Jesus did not say to me, clean up your act and come to me. Before you come to church, I need you to quit all that stuff. No. You know that I went to church and would come home and get high. I understand that you are here in church this morning. You're a believer. But I do know that every one of us on some level is struggling a bit with our faith. That is, that there are things that are going on in your life. And God says, there's not one thing that will ever cause me to turn my back on you. We ought to be so encouraged. God, the creator of the universe, would never say no, never reject you like people do. We ought to be encouraged by that. In 2 Corinthians 1:3, Paul wrote, praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of compassion and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our troubles, who comforts you in all your troubles. When you are comforted, that is God who's doing that. I don't know how people make it. Well, they don't without God, who comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort those in trouble, in any trouble, with the comfort we receive ourselves from God. People who are encouraged, pass it on. Every single thing that has happened to you, that you know for a fact has happened to you, you are able to give that to someone else. And that is the sole purpose. God gets the glory when that happens. When your life turns around and has turned around the way it's turned around, and you know that it is only God. That's what I know. There's not one single thing that would have changed me from the guy that I was in 1986 and all the way back to 68, except God. Only God caused that change. People talked to me, people yelled at me, people threatened me. It didn't matter. I didn't care. I wasn't listening to anybody on this earth. I knew what I wanted. I was going to act the way I wanted to, and that's what I did. And I reaped everything that I sowed. And then one day God said, hey, I've got a different way for you. And I'm so grateful that I listened. God's comfort is transforming. You hear me? God's comfort is transforming. God can take you from sorrow to joy. Who else can do that? Who can do that? Your neighbor can't do that. Your spouse can't do that. Your best friend can't do that. Your best friend cannot talk you out of sorrow. Only God said, I'll turn your mourning into to joy. I'll flip it. I can do that. Galatians 3:28, Paul wrote, there is neither Jew nor Gentile, nor slave nor free, nor is there male and female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. If you belong to Christ, and you are Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise. Of all the things that we could say on the planet today, the thing in Charlottesville notwithstanding, and everything else that's going on, where there's bias, racial hatred, where there is misunderstanding between people, where there is discord between us, God says, I do not care about what you look like, or how you're built, or how you're fashioned, or what shape you're in, or what color you are. I only care about what is inside of you. You're not a man and a woman that I may decide between you. You're not an ethnicity that I may decide between this group and this group. You are my creation, and I created you the way I created you, and I see the inside of you. Now, if we could spread that word, if that's what we could get the world to hear, then the world would change. That's the kind of encouragement we need in moments like last night. Not fist fighting and all of the vitriolic, the rage, the hatred. That's caused by external things. It's caused by the devil himself. And that word right there that says, God doesn't see your shell, doesn't care about your shell, cares about your heart. When God went to look for a king to rule Israel, you know the story when he was looking for David. And all of his brothers came in. They were all these cool dudes, built, and, slick back hair, nice looking, surfer dudes, great looking guys. He said, nah, not impressed. Not impressed. He said, I had a guy like that, a guy named Saul. It says Saul was the handsome, tall, just great-looking guy. Messed up. Caught up in himself. No, God said, I need somebody like this little shepherd boy right here. He said, this is a man after my own heart. I like what's in this kid. I like what's inside of him. I was just talking to someone this week, and they were having some issues, physical issues. They were concerned about their weight, and they were having some issues with their teeth, and their hair wasn't, and so there was all of this stuff. And God says to me to tell this person, doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at all. What I like about you is who you are, who I've made you. See, we get all concerned, and certainly I understand good grooming and hygiene and taking care of yourself and dressing nice. I like to dress nice, okay? Although I can dress funky too. But it doesn't matter. That stuff doesn't matter. It's not the outside, it's the inside. And that ought to encourage us. God does not see our outer shell. In Ephesians 1:18, Paul writes this, I pray that the eyes of your heart may be enlightened in order that you may know the hope to which he has called you, the riches of his glorious inheritance to his holy people, and his incomparably great power for us. God says, I have given you the treasures of my heaven. Now, we really can't even imagine. And by the way, that's not just money, though it can be money, but that's filled with hope and with trust and with faith and with encouragement. He's got storehouses full of all of these things that will help us overcome. And he says, not only that, I'm going to smack some power on you. Power? I have power in this earth? You mean there are things that I can overcome because of the power of God? You bet. Every single thing that I walk in today is a result of God giving me power and authority over the devil. If I say to the devil, devil, get out of here, the devil has to go. If I say, devil, you can't touch my wife, then he can't touch my wife. If I say to the devil, get away from my house, he has to get away from my house. He has to obey the word that I speak through Christ. Why? Because I've been given the power. You can read it right there. You've been given power. We hardly ever exercise it. Why? Because, well, I don't know if that really means power. No, it means power. What else would it mean? Well, you know, I don't want to be one of those name it and claim it. Fine. How's that working for you? God's supernatural riches and power have been given to us all. In Philippians 4:6, Paul writes this, do not be anxious about anything. Have you heard that before? Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, going before God. Going before God. Every situation, go before God. Every situation, go before God. Every situation, go before God. Why are we not, how do we miss this? I don't know what to do. Have you prayed? I'm going to. As soon as I get home, I'm going to. What? No, pray now. Pray now. Well, I'm overwhelmed. I don't feel like praying. Shut up. By prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. And the peace of God. Anybody in here want peace? All right, that's 12. Do I hear 13, 14, 22? All right. Peace. Every one of us wants peace. You want peace in your house. Everywhere you go, you want peace. Of course you do. Peace is the greatest commodity that can ever be given to us. And God has given it to us. He says, and look at this. This is the kind of peace it is. It transcends all understanding. I don't know why I shouldn't be feeling this peaceful. All hell is breaking loose in my life. I don't know why I should. You know, the doctor said this. I don't know why I feel so peaceful. Well, that's why right there. Because you tapped into God. Well, look, there's a lot of stuff coming. You know, I have friends, and you know, you soldiers. I understand you're committed to your comrades. I understand that you have a devotion and a love to your comrades. I understand that you have a great love for your unit and your men. But if your men and or women beside you die or commit suicide or get caught up in alcohol and craziness, that's not your responsibility. They're the ones choosing. Now, you need to be praying for them, of course you do. But you cannot let their decisions affect you so that you walk around in some kind of negative mindset all the time because my comrades are struggling. Okay. They're struggling. Don't let their struggle become your struggle. You can't encourage them if you're sitting there with them going, yeah, man, we're lost. Man, we're messed up. Yeah, okay, here, give me that Glock. No, that's not the way to encourage anybody. The way you encourage them is that you love them. You speak hope into them. It transcends all understanding, and it says it'll guard your hearts and your mind. This peace of God is so powerful, it will guard. It's a peace that will saturate and wrap around. It will keep you safe from yourself. Incredible peace. God's peace overcomes the stress and strain of this life. Then he wrote in Colossians 3:16, let the message of Christ dwell, under that line, that word, circle it, highlight, dwell, that is live Let it take up residence. You've got to let God take up residence in your life. You've got to let God in and let him take over the space, like my little doctors at my house. I live there, but really I live there because they let me. They own the place, and they know they own the place. Well, that's the way it ought to be with God. He owns the place. Let him have some room. But let the place well. felt like, wow, God just showed up in Union Square in New York City. And he had. He had victory that day. Because he showed the people who he really was. That he was a God who cared. He encouraged them in the things of God. You have been encouraged. Now go and encourage. Encourage one another. As Paul said.